An EFCC officer was shot dead at the line of duty in Oka as they were trying to arrest a suspect at the middle of the night without knowing that the suspect had a gun, a supposedly or allegedly licensed gun, and he shot one of the officers dead and then the other one injured. The guy has been arrested already and is in detention, and the other EFCC official who was shot dead has been buried, was flown back to his home state in the north, and he has been buried. Then the other guy is supposedly in the hospital. Now, there's this debate about whether EFCC had the right to go at night and conduct arrest. Yes, they have the right. They can arrest you at any time. But Nigeria being who we are turning it into a problem. But it's not supposed to be a problem. The FCC did so many things wrong here. Because I can still say it's their fault. Because if they did proper investigation and then background check on that guy, they would have known that he has a licensed gun. If he actually had a licensed gun, or should have known that maybe this guy has maybe a violent nature or this or that, and they'd be very, very careful trying to go arrest the guy. Or they wouldn't even go at night, knowing that this guy may be armed. Now, the other thing is they could go any time to arrest. And there's a reason why security officials choose midnight to go do the arrest. Although I may say that our people may not be that equipped. And in U.S. Army, there's something they say that they own the night. They actually operate at night because they have an advantage when they go at night. In U.S. Army, they are like to operate better even at night more than they operate during the day. And that thing takes training, a lot of equipment like, all this eye vision at night and a lot of things. You can remember when even Bin Laden was taken out, it was done at night. Most of the operations, most of the top elites named abroad, they do it at night. But that requires a lot of training, which I don't think our people have, because most times when they go in at night, things always muddled. I think the US Air Force, where they actually operate, is another of their policy where they operate something called a zero illumination. That is where there is no moon and no stars. Like they choose a particular time of the year where the moon is not visible. So with that, they have advantage over maybe their enemy camp or even the person they are trying to arrest. Remember, Hushpuppi was also arrested at night, but they do have that right to arrest at any time. But the problem now becomes that we are not that equipped. Imagine you're even entering a place where there are no lights and the security officials are not really equipped at night. Sometimes in Nigeria, we just adopt other policies abroad without actually going through what is required for those kind of policies. And I know there may be a reason why a lot of them, they're not only the ones, sometimes you see police, even drug law enforcement officers going at midnight. And most times when they do it, they get their target. Their targets, they're always around, which shows that he actually has a reason for doing that. But in most times when there is this kind of opposition from their suspects, then a lot of things goes bad. So they have the rights, but they should have done investigation. But on the other hand, because of Nigeria, I would think that they should limit the arrest they do at night. Now, there's another case, like in Nigeria aviation industry, there are policies that they try to discourage most local flights to fly at night. It's very logical for you to understand why. We don't have a lot of these facilities. Sometimes the runways, you don't have light. So to reduce crashes and all those things, they discourage a lot of the local flights not to fly at night. So sometimes you see local flights will just take off maybe around 6 to before dawn. You won't see most local flights in Nigeria anymore. And there is a good reason for that and works. So the same thing that these security officials should do, they should limit most of these arrests that they go at midnight. Because sometimes a lot of these things cause a lot of problems. Sometimes they even arrest people who are not involved, or they get into the house, take everybody, get into the company and take everybody, and then charging innocent people to court, and without doing proper investigation. If this thing continues, a lot of things are happening online. It looks like some people are encouraging young guys to take arms or fight security officials. That should not be encouraged, because when we get to that place, we're inviting anarchy. Although you may not really like the way Nigerian security officials operate, but we just have to stay with our resemblance of a working society than having a non-working society at all. Because when we get to a level where everybody bears arms against this security official, it turns full-blown anarchy. So, and I must also talk to some security officials, because I had a encounter with some of them sometime 2 weeks ago, and you find out that one of their guys was like, "You don't like our officials. I don't want to call the name of the security apparatus. You don't like us. A lot of you don't like us." I say, "Oh, guys, no, a lot of don't like him, but doing what is right." So when they have that kind of mindset that some young guys don't actually like them, no, it's not as if some young guys don't like you guys. It's because of the way you guys are operating. And some people just detest a lot of things about those kind of security network in Nigeria. And they must do well. These things will call for reform. You must do well to carry out proper investigation, do your investigation properly. How could you go into a suspect's uh, compound without proper investigation? Because it shows if there are proper investigation, you can't scale a fence of a suspect who is armed. And they are saying he has a gun that was licensed. Because these are the things that you should have checked during the background investigation. And when you discover that he has a gun, you know how to go for it, or you invite him to come. You understand? It would have saved this guy's life than just taking someone's life. And nobody should rejoice over the death of another person. This is a new intake into the system, and sadly, he lost his life at the line of duty.